Welcome back to the Asaph Sisters YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, comment. And I am Elizabeth Michira. I would like to thank you for joining me even as we continue in this very interesting session of Life is Still Beautiful. And today we are in our second episode, and the second episode's title is Accept Yourself. So you realize some people are bitter with life. They don't love themselves, and in the long run they become sad people, unhappy people, and life becomes miserable. But there's this one secret that you need to learn if we really want life to be beautiful, and that is accepting ourselves just the way you are, with your big head, with your small mouth, with your ears. Just accept yourself the way you are, and let it not reach a point and you start comparing yourself with another person. Remember that all of us have different stars. Each one of us was created with a different purpose, very unique purpose. And that is why when you look in even in the stories in the Bible, you don't get one person whose story is the same as the other, because each one of us has their own book to write, has their own life to live. So this particular day, I just want to encourage us to learn to accept ourselves. Let us look at the story of Moses. Moses is a prince. He's an Israelite, but he's brought up in the palace. And then when he becomes big enough and he started to discover that his people are the Israelites, and he kills one of the Egyptians, he goes to the desert, and in the desert, that is where he discovered himself. He grows this knowing about God, and it reaches a point that his star is almost starting to shine. He has been brought up in the palace, to the desert, all this to prepare him for this big role, and that is to take the Israelites out of Egypt to the promised land. Simple as. We all have different stars, but our stars will rise at different times. So at no point should you feel jealous because you see your friend succeeding too much and you're still there. What you need to do, keep trusting in the Lord. When Moses' time reached and the Lord appeared to him in a burning bush, to him, he thought that he had nothing. He actually had nothing. But to the Lord, he saw so many things that are beautiful. He knew the plans that he had for him, just like in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, that the Lord has beautiful plans. He has plans to prosper, to bring us to prosperity and not to destruction. So at times, accept yourself just the way you are. So Moses reaches this point, and the Lord wants to send him back to his people. And the Lord asks him, "What do you have?" A rod. Moses answered, "A rod." To Moses, it's just a rod that is used to take sheep, to get a sheep. But to the Lord, that rod was more than just a rod that is used for the sheep. It's a rod with miracles. So unto us also, our lives, we have these different talents, different personalities, but that you've not unleashed, that you've not brought them out because maybe we fear of how people will talk about us, of how people will discriminate us. But again, same to Moses, by the way. Moses also thought he could not be able to go back to Egypt. But the Lord has given him this important role to go help his people out of Egypt. So the some of these talents that we have, and we are actually hiding them, or rather we find them to be useless. But again, grow that talent and you'll discover that, you know what, there's much more than you even think about. There's more potential in your life than you even think about it. That friend of yours that you look and you really admire, that can also be you if you work hard on yourself, if you focus on yourself, if you look at the beauties of life, if you stop complaining, if you stop having a negative attitude towards life. There's so many things that you'll discover that you have at your hands, but because you've not really focused on them, you're living a bitter life. You're living a life of your friend. So we need to accept ourselves, our own selves, and ourselves. Learn of our abilities, learn of our strengths, learn of our weaknesses, because our weaknesses can sometimes, if you're not careful about your weaknesses, they can bring you to your downfall. So know your abilities, know your gifts, and however simple these things may look, the gift may look, at times just sit down and try to think, what else can I do with my life? What else can I do with this gift that I have? And many times when you use this gift for the glory of the Lord, it becomes even more beautiful and life becomes more interesting. So whenever we dwell on the things that we love, when you accept yourself, you'll automatically discover the things that make you happy. Maybe it's singing, maybe it is reading the books, maybe it is playing, or you just love hiking, these things that make you happy. Just discover these things that make you happy and dwell on them. Focus on the things that make you to be your own self, not somebody else. And when you discover who you are, what you love, and you accept yourself just the way you are, life will become more beautiful. Psalms 139, verse 13, it says, "For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's wombs." The Lord knew us even in our mother's wombs, and I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. We are all wonderfully and fearfully made in the eyes of the Lord. And thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect, and in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as this yet was none of them. So we discover that that we are wonderfully, fearfully made. And if you're fearfully made, if the Lord says you're fearfully made, who are you to doubt yourself? Who are you to doubt yourself? So this day, I just want us to love ourselves jealously, accept ourselves, discover these talents that are hidden, and unleash them. Dwell on things that you find happiness in doing. Find places that you really love to be in. Some of us love these mountain places. Some other people will just want to be, when they're in church, they're just happy, Just discover these very few things that make you happy and dwell on them. And that way, life will be very beautiful. So that is the end of our second episode. Accept yourself just the way you are. So thank you, and I'll also welcome you even to the third episode of Life is Still Beautiful. Goodbye.